Well, I had quite a few calls there. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should start doing some of the calls on the chill stream. I actually had more people calling in. I got to find a better call thing. I wish I had like three-way or multiple lines. Yeah. Maybe that's the way to go. Radio. Go back to radio. Just have a bunch of phone lines. I'm going to do Art Bell kind of show. That's what OP kind of got into. It was like a little Art Bellish. OP, next time you got to call in and pretend you're actually at Area 51 and that it's like it's getting shut down or something. And that the CIA is after you. Then play it out. And then I'm like, oh my God, I think that was real. If you don't know Art Bell, you probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. Look up Art Bell. He's actually on Rumble, I believe. He's dead now. He's dead. Rest in peace to Art Bell. One of my favorite radio shows to ever listen to ever. What was it? Midnight in the Desert. Let's see. It's the Oasis of the Mind. I think that's the way his little tag went. God damn, I miss Art Bell. Somewhere in time, yeah. And then I think he used to say, the Oasis for the Mind. Coast to coast. Art Bell had some of the greatest radio ever. That was radio. That was true fucking radio. He would just open his phone lines and people would call in and go, hey, there's an alien in my backyard right now. And most of the time you didn't believe it. The best ones are him talking to time travelers. Like, I came from the year 2258 and I came back because we're trying to stop. We were on a mission, actually. They would come up with these great stories, and you know it's bullshit, but you have to listen to it. Because the little part of you goes, I kind of hope he's telling the truth. And then they start predicting stuff that's going to happen. It's one of the greatest radio shows ever. One of the greatest shows, period. Art Bell. The Count's Castle. Art Bell had the best guests too. Yeah, he just, I don't know how the fuck he just got lucky a lot of the times too. He just opened the phone lines and just, I wonder if a lot of that he set up. Because Art Bell had such a great way of playing it off of like whether, he was very inquisitive, which was good. And what I loved about Art Bell is that somebody would go, I'm a time traveler and I'm on a mission from this time, whatever. And they'd say a very basic opening and he'd start quizzing them as if it was like legitimate. So it would make it even more interesting because then he would try to trip them up and and a lot of these guys were really good. So it convinced you sometimes, especially I was a younger kid, you know, you had more of an imagination back then. You weren't a jaded, cynical asshole. Speaking for myself, I guess. So a lot of it, I was like, wow, maybe this is real. Who knows? And hey, who knows? Part of me still, maybe I'm not against the idea that time travel may be possible. So I followed Art Bell forever. I could talk about Art Bell all fucking night. If you come on one night, we could talk about it because I could just ramble about Art Bell. I'd put him up there as maybe like because I loved radio growing up. That was actually my dream. I had an ass backwards dream, is that I wanted to have a hit song, and then I wanted to work in radio. And I guess like the way it works is sort of backwards. But I always thought that I would make, I'd have a little music career and then I'd fall back and have a career in radio and just ride that out for the rest of my life and be happy because I always loved radio. So I would listen to, of course, Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony, you know. Then podcasts came along. But I swear I would even listen to, I would listen to Morning Zoo Radio. That's how much I was just like a student of it. I would listen to Elvis Duran all the time. Just because it was like, I loved every aspect of it. I loved just even like the stingers. Well, I hate them now because it's all the same shit. But yeah, I just everything about radio. I think it's the greatest medium ever made. I think it's better than TV. Better than TV. Radio. TV was the evolution of like how we got dumber. Radio was like sort of a more, I don't want to use the word intellectual because I know that's a douchey word nowadays, but I think it was when we were more intelligent. We listened to the radio. TV made us stupid. Let's see. Bob and Sherry are funny. I don't know Bob and Sherry. I remember my dad used to listen to Mike and the Mad Dog. He used to call in. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Calling into a radio station. And I always had this is me being a young boy. I had the imagination like, oh, it must be so cool to just field a phone call on a radio. You could just take it anywhere you want. So yeah, all that wacky Morning Zoo shit. Now I find it like pretty douchey. A lot of it. Like I was listening to on the way to work the other day. I was listening to Elvis Duran. Just like, hey, for old time's sake, let me play it. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, these people have nothing to talk about. They've run out of shit to talk about. Or you can tell that they're so like afraid to step on toes. They're afraid to talk about anything controversial. It's like, it's boring to me now. It's lame. So, but then there's parts where they do say some like stupid funny shit that you're like, all right. Well, not as much anymore even because I've been listening to it a couple times on the way to work. It's better, honestly, still better than hip hop radio. Hip hop radio can suck my dick. It sucks. Always has. Just I heard a dude, he said 5 sentences straight that didn't say anything. It's like, all right, we're gonna keep it on and locking, popping and dropping. We're gonna flip it over to the 556 mix. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Say a coherent sentence. Listen to hip hop radio and tell me that's not what it is. We gonna keep it locking on and dropping. Keep it locked in, tuned into the mix. All right. Don't know what they're talking about.